the foil pressure in a way that you can just stand with your left foot. So right now a lot of my weight is just on my front foot. It's just right on that fulcrum point. And then to do these little baby pumps, all I'm doing is just slightly lifting my back foot, my board angles down. That's for you, June. So my front foot's taking a lot of my weight, and then I just lift my back foot. There's no pushing down, there's no power, all I'm doing is lifting my back leg a touch, and that's causing me to pump. And that was some good bump reading and some riding high, and you're downwinding effortlessly. If you're a back-footed rider, start pressurizing your front foot, getting the pressure under it so you can lean on that front foot and it won't just pitch down. You can actually put some weight on it. Save your back leg for when you need it.
Welcome back, team. Tried creatine. You have to feed the machine, keep it mean and lean. Don't go out green. Stay high if you know what I mean, but always stay weed free. Push your limits, don't stay comfortable. Still keep it fun for y'all. Spend time teaching your feet, yeah. Keep reaching, keep on dancing, even in the street, yeah. Rain, it's strange, affects the wind rain. Sets the stage, pure energy scene. Rounded bumps on a move, green, salty brine, it's fine, no problem. Fresh water, just add a pinch of your own salt. Yeah. Just remember to wash your hair, be tangle free, don't forget beauty. Found a turtle named Myrtle and a brother Michelangelo by an archipelago. I watched that fella go nice and slow with impeccable flow. Seems to me she's hungry though. Sad to see you go. Bye bye turtle. Bye bye turtle. Bye bye turtle. Bye bye turtle. Went to Perth, the second birthplace, a downwind race, and I was birthed by Hawaii. Men and women, it was fun, yeah. Met Kilama and his downwind far. Now that's how I got my start. Now I'm racing, still not placing, but contributing to the racing scene. Don't be mean, just trying to be seen clearly. No space, shuttles on the wall, who too hard you? There's a few more of us now, they built a crew of voyagers. No stranger dangers, not just a friendly crowd, a smiley face. Race, place, finishes, James Casey won't face me during the race unless he 360s his victories. If he pleases, and Dave West is best at all the rest. No jesting, he's spreading the knowledge, no resting, just feasting. I bet King the Wild defiled your style, yeah. Made your jaw drop with that short pop holly thing only he can bring. Gaby ain't shabby either. Queen of style, got it dialed, will coach you too. If you flicker through the paper, don't forget the tip, yeah. Pace, yeah, aptly named race fiend. Friend of me, Axis team rider, deep voice provider. Frank, yeah, built my tank there, never sank. Thank you, mate, looks great, even on the small lake. Bacon, Adrian on a plane again. Insane, fine dining, designing. If you ask me, Kev on another level, too special to meddle on cheaper metals. Titanium underwater planes, a risk game. No need for fame, too much strain, eh? Evan, a man that deserves a golden foil in heaven. Special guy who can think on the fly. Greek Isle style, no guy. Oscar, never lost, you're the original boss, yeah. Review with a view, no puffin', just loving and pumping. Turn high on the fly, great guy. Army's back, black or white stripe, hyped up guru will cruise through you and me. Sam loaded a piece. If any better would transcend beyond what any weather could matter. Needs no letter of introduction. Functional fun run switch. Invented foil downwind. Did you hear that he invented subfoil downwinding? A new age, a true gift given. He's living his best life. Lawrence brothers lifting their many lovers above you, sharing their family, parent, facial hair in per standard. Ain't no dick. He got his knee back together and then started hunting bad weather again. My friend sharing bread, yeast in only the best. He brings for catch. Look out, yeah, cash birds, Ola rich. Not thriftful, never drift. Too much lift, what a gift, given, driven. I'm smitten, took the record from Dylan. Such a villain, no sweat, cause I bet a Kiwi will fill that spot again. Jeremy Riggs got the original gig. Flat water digs, master roster. Free family man, big fan. Ezekiel loud, just wow, just how. Paddle power, stallion hour, Hawaii style. Geared out, axis fiend. Gotta be seen to be believed. Professional surfer should head to Perth, yeah. Olivia, my pleasure to meet ya. An amazing feat to cross that 200-mile sea, yeah. An inspirational dedication, no downwind sensational explanation, all-time great professional. Love Tom on my bro, a leader of the sea, yeah. Love watching that fella go. Josh cool, look at you go, great flow. Friends don't let friends get haircuts, nearly time for a mo. Goofy rider, hair life, a freestyler, roof tiler, big smiler, Randy, pretty dandy, never sandy, Hawaiian shirt, fancy dress for success, one of the best board man of galore. Dave Column, the inventors, and yeah, my bruh, so stoked to see a stand-up fella, inventor of downwind, board lore, Hawaiian style, always pushing the next mile, godfather of style. Yeah. See you later, Gator. See you later, Gator. See you later, Gator. See you later, Gator.
Alright, welcome back. Very light wind run, this one. Looking at about an 11 knot average. Absolute maximum would have been 12 knots and a fair few sections that were below 10 knots. Using the 1500 Fireball from Axis, the perfect tool for these light wind conditions. I think a lot of people will use this for flat water pumping and whatnot, but for downwinding it is actually the perfect foil for these light and soft bump days. So it's a very efficient foil. It's reasonably quick for its size. It's not actually that high in area. I can't remember what the aspect ratio is, but it's around 17 AR. So for light wind stuff, you just can't get much better. I don't know. There's nothing else in the Axis range that's quite like this at the moment. Some bigger foils are quite chunky and have a lot of chord or lift, and that kind of makes them inefficient, whereas this is an ultra efficient foil as well as reasonably fun. So, and it's the perfect tool for this job, let's say. Got a few on-camera comments here coming up, and so I'll get back to something, but a friend of mine asked me if this foil turned or not. June rides a 1350 APF Armstrong foil, and I told her that these foils are great for downwinding, and she asked me, does it turn? So I'll get back to that.
Very light conditions, folks. 11 knots.
Does it turn? Yes. All foils yaw turn quite well, and you can definitely use the yaw control of this foil very efficiently. And it does carve turn, but a bit more drawn out. There's a lot of lift when you initiate a carving turn with a foil like this.
Make sure you don't lose your glide. Don't lose your height, don't lose mast height for anything.
Yeah, don't give up mast height. And the other thing is, there's nowhere to turn out here anyway. There's just not enough power to perform that radical a change of direction. And so these foils have enough turn to navigate the conditions you'll be in. I have used the 1500 actually in surf, and that was still quite fun, just making the most of small waves. But yeah, so this foil is just great. If you're into downwinding and want to go out in light conditions, get one of these.
Back your mast height whenever you get some speed, turn it into mast height. Every time you see a trough, go and like access it, and that gives you mast height. Many ways to spin your mast height.
Yeah, mast height is certainly key.
Fair bit of a cut going on.
So yeah, pretty full on cut here, but just surfing right, not pumping right. I do make that cut reasonably well, and then I can surf straight at the end. But riding high on the mast is pretty key, especially if you're using small foils. That mast becomes a huge part of your carbon capacity. So your mast has a lot of wetted surface that isn't giving you lift. It's just giving you drag and stability essentially. The axis masts are very stiff and you can ride them high without feeling wobble. But if you're on a brand that doesn't have a very ultra stiff mast, when you ride high you can often get a beach ball effect, like you're standing on a beach ball, and you'll feel some wobble, and it can be quite off-putting and make it hard to actually ride high. Whereas the axis gear is very solid and stiff, and it makes riding high comfortable. It really gives you confidence to do it. And then when you do it and you experience that surge of glide and speed that you get, it becomes very addictive. So riding high should be most likely your number one priority when you're doing these light wind downwinders.
Always looking for where's my free glide? How soon can I stop pumping? Like how much energy is going to give me to that spot? Don't need to overcook. You don't need to pump till you get all the way to your target. You can glide to the last bit.
As you gain more experience, you start realizing where your current glide will get you to, and you can relax more and utilize that glide. If you're a bit newer to the sport, you can be a little bit unsure and you might do some pumping that isn't actually necessary. A lot of people will pump to the target and never actually utilize the glide, whereas the more experience you get, you can pump towards the target, but for that last section of 3 or 4 meters, you can just glide there and time it right. And so you start saving energy just from technique and knowledge and experience. Back to mast height. If you're practicing in flat water and pumping around or trying to reconnect waves, I highly recommend that you explore the upper reaches of your mast and really try and get it dialed into your peripheral view and just your comfort. And I also recommend to my friends that can paddle up in flat water or are doing wave returns, link ups, that you pump high enough that you actually pump to breach. And I don't mean just doing a radical surge up to try and breach, but to try and actually get up into that upper water column and maintain it, but take it to the point of failure so you truly know how high you can get. And you might need to do it 5 times, 10 times. There's nothing wrong with breaching. You're above water, you can fall into water, it's soft. And you'll just gain so much from doing those breaches in a flat water scenario. You can do it in the bumps too, but it can be quite hard. Oh no, actually, I guess flat water is quite hard to paddle up too. I was going to say you can do it in the bumps, but it's a bit of a pain if you do then fall off and have to start again. And I guess the difference between bumps and flat water is in flat water you can just paddle back to the land, whereas on a downwinder you're kind of committed to the run. So maybe do it on one of your shorter runs or towards the end of your run if you're going to do it in a downwinding scenario. And just really try and ride high and feel those sensations. Because people talk about riding high, but then they kind of shrug it off, or they do it a little bit. But that should be your primary focus, and at every moment, except for maybe doing a turn, you should be trying to ride high and ride efficiently. And then just learn what that gives you, because that truly is the answer to downwinding. Like, people talk about it, but they don't specify how important it actually is.
Look up your mast height just before that end section. Just before you lose your speed, you come to stall. Look up to the top of your mast and then start pumping. Don't start pumping early with the low mast. Just protect that mast height and speed at all costs. Don't lose it, don't just fly downwind. If you get a certain speed, it's your job to just feather that pitch control. You want a perfect glide angle as often as you can. You're just getting the right amount of speed and lift at the same time and you'll just glide.
Yeah, so all these thoughts that I'm talking about now were quite prominent in my mind when I was riding there.
Sometimes all you need to do to maintain or gain speed is flick up that mast height instead of bumping it. Slowing down, flick up that mast. 11 knots and it feels like effortless riding. Well, I do have a very efficient foil on. I got the 1500 Fireball 50 skinny with that 0.25 positive shim. 64 fuse.
Oh yeah, I forgot to write that about the shim. So there's a 0.25 positive shim in there for more lift. So yeah, if you're gliding along and you start slowing down, before you slow down and have to start pumping out of it, make sure that your last use of that speed is to flick back up to the top of your mast. Regain mast height and then start pumping from that moment. Don't let yourself get low and having to thug pump out of that low situation where then you're trying to build speed and height at the same time. Use your height to kick back to the top of the mast, and then your pumping from that moment at the top is far more efficient and easy to maintain. You'll start saving energy and you'll start noticing when you do start pumping from a low start, like a low mast position, and you'll just hate it. So you need to feel the contrast. So get high with the last thing that you do with your speed, and then commence your run from there. There's another way to get mast height, and it's not just gliding to the top of the water, but you can glide out through the front of the water. So the beauty of downwinding is there's a seascape in front of you, and it's not flat. So you've got dips, you've got high points and troughs. If you are heading toward a trough and you follow the contour of the ocean, you'll keep the same mast height. But if you head towards a trough and you stay horizontal, like flat, you will then be gaining mast height automatically as the sea drops away from you. So that's something to try and think about. It's almost free mast height that you can get without having to pump up to the top of your mast. You got a dip in front of you, don't drop your nose down and go downward, just stay going straight. And then you'll automatically get large clearance from that surface of the water, and then commence your downward trajectory or whatever you want to do. So there's lots of tricks to getting mast height. You'll start craving mast height, and you'll start trying to find more and more ways of doing it. And that sort of ties into, there's different kinds of mast height. I've spoken about this in different videos. There's mast height that you can see, like you can see a lot of mast out of the water, but if your foil is in the center of the bump, it doesn't mean a whole lot. But you can actually be quite low on your mast and have your foil right towards the front face of that wave, almost dropping out of the face of the wave. That too is a very low pressure zone for your foil, and you'll get a good surge.
Just the smallest little baby pumps, little redirection.
So that's deciding what sort of mast height pump you want to use. If you're high on your mast, there's no point doing big light height gaining pumps. That's what you do if you were low on the mast. And if you're basically just decide what you need compared to the environment around you. So yeah, you can imagine that if your foil is close to the face of the wave and you actually pop out the face of that wave, gravity will just make you drop at free fall. So you can kind of use that and get your foil popping out the front of the wave even if you're low on your mast, but you'll get a surge of speed. So let me know if you want more explanation on that in the comments, and let me know if you actually understand what I'm saying. But you add all these things together to make these runs work. There's a consistent stream of decision making happening. And a lot of the techniques repeat that you'll use, but never quite the same. And the water's never quite the same either. Feet are reasonably close together there for me. I'm working on all aspects during this run. Light wind is often a training session for me. So what I've done here, and I start talking about it in a moment, I think on the video, but I start trying to get some pressure under that front foot. I was always a back-footed rider because I would use large foils. And what that does is as you get powered up on a large foil, you get a lot of lift typically. And a way to overcome that lift is by highly leveraging your front foot by moving it forward. And it just means that foil can't make you explode. You've just got so much leverage over the pressure. The problem with that is all your weight is now being lifted by your back leg. So if you give your front foot heaps of leverage, it's got too much leverage to actually lean on, because if you lean on it and it's far forward, you'll just pitch down. So my job has been over the last couple of years pulling my front foot towards the back of the board over that foil pressure to a point where I can actually lean my weight on that foil and on the pressure. And now I can give my back leg a bit of a rest as I can balance that pressure between both legs now. So that's just another form of efficiency that you'll get when you're pumping or downwinding. If you've got failure points like your back leg burn or front leg burn, you might need to start working on your stance and finding different ways to ride that are more efficient. And then when you get super technical, like canes.
Stand on your foil pressure.
Oh, here we go.
In a way that you can just stand with your left foot. So right now, a lot of my weight is just on my front foot. It's just right on that fulcrum point. And then to do these little baby pumps, all I'm doing is just slightly lifting my back foot, my board angles down. For you, June. So my front foot's taking a lot of my weight, and I just lift my back foot. No pushing down, there's no power, all I'm doing is lifting my back leg a touch. And that's causing me to pump.
That's some basic mechanics there of how I'm pumping. But there's more finesse. So
Some good bump reading and some riding high. You're downwinding effortlessly. If you're a back-footed rider, start pressurizing your front foot, getting the pressure under it so you can lean on that front foot and it won't just pitch down. You can actually put some weight on it. Save your back leg for when you need it.
yeah, that's kind of the basics of the mechanics. But then also during the pitch change of lifting your rear leg and the nose dropping, you want to re-establish your weight through the foil system in a way that makes it speed. So gravity is a big force out there, and gravity will do a lot for you. So you want to utilize that collapse of your foil and board as if you were on a pump track. So on your way down, you want to add your weight to it and then redirect it back up for the next whoop, or whatever they're called on a pump track.
Make it a glide until maybe I see something else. You can just fill the gaps in the pump, but if you can just prolong that glide, start or something might show up and you might give you a direction.
So that's about being patient and not just thugging out blank sections. You don't want to go too low or to get too slow and low, because then you really do need to work hard to get back up to speed or back up to mast height. But really utilize your glide and learn how much low end you have, because sometimes you can just utilize a bit of the ocean and squeak out a bit more time, and then you'll get a section. You'll get a section opening up that you can use.
Slightly down, just ever so slightly, add your weight to it, and it'll give you a boost. You just got to control the pitch. You don't want to lose pitch, you don't want to lose your mast height.
Yeah, pitch control is very key. You know, you can lose it in one moment by pointing down too much, and you can just be inefficient by having your nose ride too high. So there's sweet spots, and it's constantly changing depending on your speed and the terrain. But another thought that goes through my mind, and I mentioned it earlier on camera I think, was what's going through my head is, where's my free ride? So at every moment I'm looking at the water thinking, where can I get free inertia or free momentum? So where's the next flat section, or where's the next slightly downhill section? And I will try to utilize or access it using.
I pretty much made my cart now. I can just go straight downwind if I want. I can go both ways.
Using whatever speed I have. And free glide means, not working hard to get to it. So there's no point seeing a peak in the distance and working hard to get to it to get a free glide there. How can you free glide through to that peak or that trough? So start looking for the in-betweens. If you find that you're pumping a lot in your runs, that'll probably help you.
Where your foil is in the water, not to steal your board, your mast. That foil in the right spot.
Yeah, understand where your foil is. It's often between your feet. So you're not just directing the nose of your board, you're flying your foil. That is your main device, even though the board is the most visual cue that you will have. So don't forget this is 11 knots.
1500. I chopped down 80 to 76, it's more than enough. Tiniest bit of wiggle. Still stiffer than most other systems. The floor foil.
So yeah, Axis made the fatty mast and fatty fuse for these bigger span foils, but actually the 1500 is fine on your Ultra Pro. Especially my 76, which was the 80. I should try it on the 72 and do a test to see what sort of flex I can feel. I can feel a little bit of flex with this mast and front foil setup, but it's pretty minor and it's not enough to distract me or to make me hesitate. But yeah, I was saying, don't forget this is 11 knots. And I'm riding it pretty efficiently, so that's really a testament to this foil and probably the time I've spent in light conditions. So yeah, downwinding, you don't need 30 knots, 40 knot days, 25 knots. Some of my best downwinders have been in 17 knots. I find that quite surfy and playful. And I'm just fearless in that sort of conditions. It can get a bit intimidating in 40 knots, it gets a bit stressful. There's always movement. You're always going up and down because the terrain is so varied. But then you've got, on the flip side, you've got these 11 knot days that are just super fun, and it's downwinding also at its core. Like, you're just trying to be efficient and ride for free. The endless wave. This run was from Army Bay to Orewa, which is from the end of our peninsula to the mainland, and it's about 10 kilometers in a straight line. When you got 20 knots, you get a little bit of shore break, but it's never that bad. Although one day, when it was 45 knots, it was 5 foot. That was scary. But today at 11 knots, you won't even see waves at the end. I've paired, actually, yeah, good. I thought I should talk about my system. I've paired the 1500 with the 50 skinny. For me, that pairs really well. I had thought maybe the biggest rear foil that I have, which is currently the 55 skinny. But actually I do feel the drag of that. And the 50 feels far more slick. And then if I keep stepping it down again, the 45 just feels a bit light underfoot. It feels like at the speed this front foil wants to travel, that 45 isn't really that active without a shim. It might be great with a positive shim in there, and I'll try that at some point. But the 50 skinny paired with the 1500 is just the perfect match for me, especially with this 0.25 positive shim to add more lift. If I do go and test the 45 skinny, I'll probably stick in the 1 degree positive shim. So really trying to get that rear foil to work hard. And when you do shim a foil to 1 degree, it's not even, the drag it produces is less severe than 1 foil size. So if I have the feeling of the 50 skinny like dialed, and I go to the 45 and stick in a 1 degree shim, it'll still be less drag than going to that 50 skinny, even with that 1 degree. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one and got some ideas from it. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Ask me any questions you want. I haven't done these voiceovers, beta voiceovers for a while, so I hope you enjoy it. Foil touchdown. I don't recommend that. I recommend getting off your board super early. Anyway guys, be good and see you on the next one.